Hey now, say now. Welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. We have two tough matchups in this episode as the schedule makers did not have our best benefit in mind. As just 2 games into the season, we head to Blacksburg, Virginia to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Regardless of their record in the past seasons, this is always one of the most electric stadiums in the ACC. Both teams do come into this game undefeated, but only one can leave that way. We're going to be under the lights in this one and the electric Warsham Field. Welcome back. Let's get into the action. VT has an outstanding halfback in Jeffrey Overton Jr. who had 3 touchdowns in his last game. He will need to be the focus early on for the Stanford defense. He was the pivotal point of the offense as he takes the handoff on 2nd and 15, gets to the second level, jukes out of a tackle, spins out of another one, and he's taken down. On 3rd down, he's going to get the call again, but is stopped in his track as Dylan Stevenson gets the hit and knocks him back, forcing a 4th and inches. VT gets 3 on their first drive, and Josh Pinto has the hot hand coming in this one after a 5-touchdown effort. He's hit the ground running in his short career. Facing an early 3rd and 4 from the 37, Pinto drops back and he hits fellow freshman Pat McGlonkton, who turns upfield for the first down. A few plays later, they're going to set up speed option right. Pinto takes a snap, he pitches it to Ford, he cuts back and takes a big hit and drops the ball, and VT recovers. What a play by the defense as Ford also comes up hobbled on the play. That safety's Chuck Burfict, who had to shed the block in order to get to Ford, and he jars it loose and getting the ball for Tech. However, they were backed up on 3rd and 10. Quarterback William Watson's going to scramble out of the pocket before throwing it up deep, and it's broken up by Jalen Sumlin, who is on a Highland 1-on-1. Hokies forced to punt. This allows Stanford to get their offense back on track. Ball on the 40. Pinto's going to fake the handoff before he's forced to bail from the pocket. He throws on a run and finds Jalen Mbakwe, who outruns the linebacker. He gets down to the goal line and is pushed across the end zone. Touchdown Cardinal. Electric play by the freshman quarterback, and his speedster does the rest. Stanford takes a 7-3 lead. Score was 10-9 with 4 to play in the second. On 3rd and 7, Pinto's going to drop back to pass. He throws it up into coverage, and that's Quashawn Brown, who holds on and hauls it in as he's sandwiched by 2 defenders. Later in the drive, Pinto's going to scramble from the pocket. He dumps it off to Michael Ford, who carries the defender into the end zone. Cardinal touchdown. Offense gets 7 more before the 2-minute warning. Defense was actually able to get them the ball back with under a minute. Ball on the Hokies 20. Pinto quickly pumps and jumps it off to Mbakwe, who cuts upfield and gets tackled inside the 5. Very next play, they cap off the drive when Mbakwe comes free on the drag route and he walks into the end zone. Cardinals score another touchdown just before the half, breaking this one open. 31-9 now in the 3rd quarter with 5 minutes left to play. Ball on the 26. Pinto sets up for a deep shot and he finds Mbakwe. 20-10. Touchdown! Stanford scores, and the route was on from there as the junior receiver scored his 3rd touchdown of the game. Unfortunately, the Hokies were not able to make much of a game from there as Stanford dropped a double nickel on them. 55-point showing on the road for the Cardinal, and as Josh Pinto takes home player of the game honors with 325 yards and 4 touchdowns, adding on to his hot start to his career. However, we had to shift our focus against another road test and a juggernaut of the ACC and the Clemson Tigers. Easily game of the week as this national televised game featured 2 top 10 teams in the number 8 Cardinal and the number 7 Tigers. Clemson is an ACC mainstay and will be one of our toughest competitors in this conference for years to come. A great test early on in this season to see where we're at among the college football greats. Stanford got the ball first here, and from the 36, they go to their star receiver on the bubble screen. Quashawn Brown picks up good yards before getting taken down at the 47. Later, 1st and 10 from the 30. Michael Ford's going to take the handoff, and he gashes the Tigers defense for a big run up the middle, gaining 16 more. Then, facing a 3rd and 1 from the 5. Josh Pinto calls his own number, direct snap, quarterback keeper right up the gut. He's tackled in the end zone for the Cardinal touchdown. They strike first in this matchup after a methodical 10-play, 82-yard drive to get on the board first. Their defense quickly got them the ball back. First and 10 from the 46. Pinto's going to draw back and throw a strike up the middle to Q, who darts upfield, gaining 26 yards on the play. They then drive down to the goal line, and the freshman connect was in full effect. Pinto's going to throw it up tight to Pat McLaughlin in the corner of the end zone for the Cardinal touchdown. Stanford jumps out to a 14-0 lead late in the first quarter. Score was 14-3 in the second quarter with 10 minutes to play. Pinto's going to drop back the pass. He stands in the pocket and throws a strike to Pat McLaughlin, who has to make a tough catch as he's tackled down at the 38-yard line. This jumpstarts a drive that makes another goal line appearance. When Pinto's going to drop back the pass, he quickly bails from the pocket and he runs it in himself for a touchdown. Cardinals extend their lead 21-3 on the road. Clemson offense looked to get back on track after going down multiple scores. Chris Virginia is going to fake the handoff before throwing to a wide open Nick Tolzien, who picks up 33 yards on the play. They drive down inside the 10 when halfback Tremaine Tavares takes the rock, jukes out a defender, makes his way into the end zone. Tigers strike back with a touchdown of their own with 2 minutes left in the half. Tigers offense get back on the field with under a minute left. Chris Virginia is going to take the snap. He navigates the pocket. He's going to try to dump it short to its running back, but it's a wild throw, and it's intercepted by the Cardinal defense. Jalen Dye Sumlin takes it the other way and tackled down at the 38. The crucial turnover here puts them immediately in field goal range, and kicker Dakota Clark comes on to nail the short field goal as time expires. Stanford tacks on 3 at the end of the half. Clemson's offense did find some rhythm late in the second quarter, in a half where Stanford dominated the time of possession by almost double than what the Clemson Tigers had the ball. That crucial interception swung the momentum the other way, and Stanford finds themselves in the driver's seat. In the third quarter, Stanford facing a 3rd and 5 with the crowd rocking. Pinto's going to find Jalen Ibakwe across the middle. He gets away from the defense, picking up the first and much more down at the 24-yard line. 2nd and 2 from the 2-yard line when Pinto's going to throw a quick strike to Mason Williams. Stanford puts 7 on the board after the half, extending their lead. Clemson now down 3 scores with 5 to play in the third. Virginia from an empty pocket. He's going to drop back. He's going to find Tolzien short. Jukes out a defender. Jukes out another one. Gets to the 40. Jukes out a third before getting tackled down from behind. Electric play setting up the Tigers. They found themselves on the goal line, and halfback Gideon Davison's going to dive into the end zone for the Tiger touchdown. Their offense responds back and gets 7, cutting the lead to 14. Their defense still had to find a solve for the Cardinal offense, though. Now with 7 to play in the fourth, Pinto's going to drop back and find McLaughlin, who once again makes a tough catch and hurdles over the defender, picking up 15 the hard way. Tigers defense does eventually stall a drive out, and Dakota Clark comes on to kick a long field goal. He drills it. 14-point lead extended to 17 with 4:40 to play. Tigers' last-ditch effort was on 3rd and 6. Vasina's going to feel the pressure, gets it away quickly, but throws it to the defense. It's intercepted by Brandon Nicholson as there appeared to be miscommunication on the route, and he throws it outside, and the corner capitalizes. The interception was a nail in the coffin as number 7 Clemson goes down at home 34-17 after another electric performance by the freshman Josh Pinto, 4 TDs and 90% completion against a tough defense on the road. Stanford's defense was stout, only allowing 268 yards and securing 2 takeaways, while the offense ran the ball 40 times for 216 yards, allowing them to be in control for most of the game. Pinto was extremely efficient with no interceptions, while the run game was led by Micah Ford, who had 117 yards on just 16 carries for a staggering 7.3 yards per attempt. Josh Pinto added 44 yards and 2 more touchdowns, and Chris Davis had 53 yards himself. Defensively, star safety Isaac Smith had 10 tackles to lead the team with 1 TFL, and Sam Mattingly added 7, and freshman corner TJ Blanco had 6 tackles himself. We had a staggering 7 players get TFLs on the day, and we had 3 players with sacks, and we ended up with the 2 interceptions, 1 by Sumlin and 1 by Nicholson. Similar showing against Virginia Tech, as the box score here see the Hokies only mustered up 213 total yards on offense, while Stanford were 6 yards short of 600. Run game again was strong with 221 yards on 36 attempts. 5 total passing touchdowns as the team scored the most points so far in the Dynasty with 55. Even redshirt freshman Marvin Childress got in on the fun with a touchdown throw of his own. Pinto had his best running game of his career so far with 72 yards on the ground and a 9-yard average. Receiving wise, Quashawn Brown had his best game as a Cardinal so far with 8 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. But Jalen Mbakwe outshined him with 7 catches, $150, and 3 touchdowns, something we've seen from the star receiver more times than not. So that wraps up today's episode. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you guys and see you next time.